Hey, what was it? We need another one for your collection, eh? Yeah, I'm gonna go play hockey, eh? Don't do that.
They're not the canned garbage that you listen to. They're real. They're from Canada. It's super cold, so they have to rock super hard to stay warm. I'll take your word for it.
Confined under the psychiatric care.
Now, I think he just pressed one of these buttons here.
So, Yvonne, what's in the box? What did you get?
Well, let me take a look. Look. It's our new shirt.
It's the Dog Show Drive, Will and Wise Dog Show Drive, your very own golf shirt, just like the one I'm wearing.
Available soon at our merch store.
Who sent you that?
Santa Claus.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Dog Show Drive, Will and Wise Dog Show Drive.
Canadian edition.
And look at your golf shirt. It looks snappy.
Snappy. It's good quality, too.
That's a nice golf shirt. Nancy
Nice.
Johnson had those made. So just so you know, Nancy Johnson, friend of the show.
Delightful.
Yeah.
Delightful.
This week on the Dog Show Drive, we're going to talk about UKC and ABI versus CKC shows. Now, they're not in competition against each other, but the differences between the three shows. And we're going to have friend of the show, Sean Kent, on, who is owner of Oxford Dog Sports, and he has a UKC Kennel Club, and he's a director of the ABI as well, I believe. So
Nice.
He's going to give us a lot of really good information. We're going to talk about CKC registrations. We're going to touch on that. What else? And
some news.
upcoming news in the CKC. There's been a few hearings and whatnot, so we're going to touch on that as well. So all that and more
And more.
on the Dog Show Drive.
Canadian edition.
Hi, Y.
Hi,
How are
Will.
you this week?
I'm good.
Long time no talk.
Yeah. 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly.
So
So what did you do this week? Anything good? I think you went to a dog show.
I actually participated in a dog show. Yes, I did go to the dog show, our local show, Lakehead Kennel Club, held at
Lakehead
the
Kennel
old
Club.
Grandview Arena, which is only moments from my house. So it's the best kind of show ever. So
That's always good.
yes. So I entered Fanny a couple of days, and then some other good friends of mine, Victoria and Tracy Marks, had a new puppy. So I was helping them out and getting them back into the swing of things, as we say.
Good.
So we had a good time. It was
I know Victoria Marks.
Yes, you do. And so it was a good entry. It was nicer weather. It was cool on Friday. So when you're in a hockey rink and that ice, probably just only came out a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So they still tend to hold the chill.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was a good weekend. Good weekend.
Good.
Fun was had
Good.
by all.
Anything exciting happen? Anything that we need to know about?
Oh, well, Hope had her big recital Saturday night.
Oh, okay, good. Hope had her big recital Saturday
Yes,
night.
her big Ukrainian dancing
She's the
recital.
one on the left.
Yes. So, for those
Yvonne
of
sent
you,
me a video.
yeah, for those of you who didn't get the video, Hope was on
Yvonne
the
sent
left.
me a video, and Hope, who I've known her entire life,
Yeah.
she said, Hope is the one on the left. I went, oh, okay.
Well, when they're my girls have been in dance forever, like for a lot of years. Well, sometimes it's hard to keep track of your kid on stage, and in the Ukrainian dancing, it's really hard because they move so fast on stage, and I have old eyes now.
I kept up. I saw
Well,
Hope.
it was just it was an 11-second clip for anybody
Exactly.
who wants to know.
Yeah.
And she did
anybody
about,
who
I don't
wants
know.
a copy of it, call it dogshowdrive@gmail.com.
and we'll forward you a copy. But she does like I don't know, 8 or 9 spins in that 11 seconds though. it's crazy.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
It was crazy, but it was a lovely evening, and it was well attended too, because it was held at our auditorium. So
very good.
But I mean, other than that, nothing. I'm recovering from taxes, so that's done. Oh, thank you, the Lord.
So you'll be in a nice and better mood now when I call you.
Doubt it.
I doubt it. I went to the Seaway Kennel Club, but the Seaway Kennel Club was this week, and it's held in Thorold, Ontario, which always has been there for years. It's amazing how much.
Southern Ontario, right?
Near the border.
Yeah.
Near the border.
Yeah.
It's like near Niagara Falls.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And it's one of those shows I remember going to forever. Like it's one of those shows. And I went to see Tabitha Bettis was on the panel, so I went to visit Tabitha. We had a nice visit, and I watched some of the show. It was nice, and I saw Stephen Kelly Denard there, and Christy and Anita, Christy Francis and Anita. It was a good time. I had a fun time there, and I was, as usual, I got tired and had to go home. But yeah, it was fun. As usual.
Didn't the For the Love of Purebred Dogs have a booth there? I saw something on Facebook. They had a raffle. Were they doing a raffle?
I was only there for a couple hours, so I don't know if I didn't peruse.
You didn't wander around?
No, I didn't. I watched a couple groups.
How strange.
No. I watched Marilyn O'Neill judge a couple of groups. I've been a big fan of Marilyn for years. I love Marilyn from when she showed Cockers to now she's a judge, and I love watching her judge. I think she understands the sport really well, so I like watching Marilyn judge.
Wasn't she one of the first Cocker breeders to actually show one with a tail?
That I don't know for sure. So.
I just maybe it's the first time I really saw one with a tail, and I know she had it. So
I don't remember that. I just remember her buff Cockers were always beautiful. She bred a beautiful type of dog when she was breeding dogs, and I could always pick out her dogs. Like this is before I was judging, but I could always see. I can always pick out one of Marilyn's dogs. But I enjoy watching Marilyn judge just because I think she does a good job judging. So I enjoy watching her. I didn't get to see anybody else, really. I saw Donna Canard in Best in Show, and I spoke to Donna afterwards. But I didn't really get to spend much time at Donna's ring because I got there late. I just watched a couple groups at the end. So I hung out with, friend of the show, Colin Brownlee, in his dressing room, and I ate some licorice, Ate some licorice and some other stuff. He's got all kinds of food in there.
He needs snacks because if there's anyone who identifies with hangry, probably is Colin.
Exactly. Yeah.
We still love him.
It was a good time. I guess we'll talk about it afterwards. But the entries are up now, so it's
good.
It's growing.
Yeah. Yep.
So. Chill, let's carry on since we got that out of the way.
Yes.
The friendliness out of the way. Let's go to Across Canada.
Driven by Show Scene Magazine. Show Scene, where every dog takes center stage. Anyway, so as you were saying, at Seaway Kennel Club, which was just this past weekend, Friday, the Best in Show was for Donna Canard, and she had 142 dogs. And then Saturday's show was Tabitha, and she had 184 dogs. And then Sunday's Best in Show judge was Joyce Love from Manitoba.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see Joyce. I would like to have seen Joyce. I enjoyed speaking with Joyce as well.
Yeah. She had 193.
Yeah, they're up a little bit from last year. I think yeah, like on the last day, they were up quite a bit, like almost 30 dogs.
Yeah,
so
that's nice. That's good to see.
Yeah, it's nice. I hope that show gets bigger because it was one of those shows when I was growing up that it was an event.
I remember when I worked for you, it was a large show.
Yeah, it was an event, and we had two two areas. There was a grooming area and the ring area. Now it's just a ring area and some dressing rooms, but it used to be that we would take up the whole facility. I'm hoping that it gets back to that, and with the right committee, I think they will. I think they can do that. But I don't know if you remember, they used to do the Seaway Invitational too, which was an event where the Seaway Kennel Club hosted, where they brought in different clubs, and the members of the club would build a team of dogs, like 4 dogs from Scarborough Kennel Club and 4 dogs from Barrie Kennel Club. And
no, I don't remember that.
Oh, it was great. And they invited a judge. I remember one year they invited Garrett Lambert judged the whole thing, and he would end up giving best in show, and best in show would go to the club. The club.
Yes.
Yeah,
that sounds like fun. That's a good idea.
It was a great idea. And it was an honor when they asked you to judge. I judged it one year.
Yeah.
But it was an honor. Like you always thought, oh, Seaway Invitational, of course I'd love to, because it was just one of those events that tradition said you had to enjoy
that here as a fun event. You could call, because we have a few clubs here in town, and then you can call from some of the other ones in the region as well. Yeah, that'd be fun.
I think it's a great idea.
That'd be fun.
I remember them. I remember them well.
Yeah,
I really do.
Cool.
Well, then you have your show up there.
Well, I was just going to say at Seaway, though, there was some other judges also there. Were Carrie Bauer from Ontario, Nancy Dagley from Nova Scotia, as you said, Maryland, and Barbara Orr also from New Brunswick.
Barbara Orr. Yeah, I didn't get to see Barbara. I wish I had, because I've spent some time with Barbara, and she's a wonderful lady. So.
Yes. So then we'll go to Lakehead. We had 5 shows here, two on Friday. The first one was judged by Sylvia Barkey, and she had 97 dogs. Then Wayne Thompson from BC, he had 97 dogs as well. And then on Saturday, the 2 shows, we had Brian Reed with 100, Vicky Umpleby from Ontario, 101 dogs. And then
so somebody extra entered under Vicky.
And then on Sunday, we just have the one show, and it was judged by a Nick Primo from Quebec, and she had 97 dogs. So
your entries were down a bit this year.
Entries were down a bit, yeah. Not good to see, but a lot of reasons that could be. Not too sure, but hopefully they'll get stronger in the following year as well.
Yeah.
So the Lakehead Kennel Club also, I forgot to mention though, hosted our zone finals for juniors.
Oh,
yes.
How did that go? Did it go well?
It went really well. I think we only had about 7 or 8 kids. Our friend of the show, Megan Brown, apart from being our little slave, she is the junior representative.
She's not our slave. She's Garcia. She's the one that gets all the information to us.
That's right. That's right. She's Garcia. She's the junior rep here. So, and people just don't understand. It is a task to put on those zone finals. It is a task.
Question.
Because you have to find judges, you have to find people who are agreeable to it. And not just, you just can't ask anybody to be a judge. They do have to have some knowledge about our rules and stuff like that, because there's certain things you can and can't do in juniors as well. And then apparently Faith is supposed to be taking over for her.
Yeah,
we'll see how that
goes. That's something I think we should touch on at some point about junior handling, because I do think there should be. I don't think we're ever going to get to the point where we license them like USA does,
right?
American Kennel Club does. But I think there should be a course they should take, like a seminar where they need to attend.
Yep.
Before they're allowed to judge junior handling, because it's hard. And I know sometimes it's very difficult to get a junior judge, but I think it's important to the juniors competing that the judge that they choose is actually learned in the sport, in the junior handling sport.
Exactly. And that's, and I know if handlers are available, they are more than happy to judge junior handling. But usually what happens is a time constriction for handlers, and they don't have, if you got like out in Calgary, they'll have 20 to 30 kids competing. Yeah, and that is completely
that's a long time. It's an hours or more judging.
Exactly. So, you can't always.
I don't want to. Sorry.
It's okay. So you can't always depend or, always go to that well. But if you had, bunch of people that do, had taken a simple, couple-hour course just to know
It's
that
a
you
seminar
got it.
put on by somebody who's been in the sport for a long time about judging. I even think Allison has something on junior handling, judging it on a leading edge. I'd have to double check that, but if not, there's something we should probably look at, maybe doing up a course on teaching people how to judge junior handling.
Yes,
like so I don't want to see, like when I judge junior handling, I judge it on the premise that would I let this young person, show one of my dogs if I was stuck?
Yeah,
Would
exactly.
that they're gonna. I don't care if they can switch hands and do a T or do a reverse L. I don't care about that stuff.
Yeah.
That's not showing dogs.
No, it's not.
Showing dogs is becoming one with your dog and using as limited, like, what do they call it? Forget the term they use in the AKC. But there's no ballet, there's no overdoing anything. It's just showing the dog breed specifically.
Specifically, yep.
Yeah, we don't get a lot of that. And let's face it, people, thank God some of them will step up and judge. But if they're not learned in the sport, it doesn't help the kids. So.
Yeah, it's very true. It's very true. So, but anyhow, it was a really good. Megan ran it very well because she did run it on our lunch hour, and she managed to get in and out of the ring in plenty of time, so not to hold up the all-breed show. And a very capable young lady by the name of Jacqueline Constantine won with her flat coat. So she'll be headed off to the Nationals. And I guess that's, I think they're being held at MCA.
I'm not sure.
In August. We'll get Megan to give us the deets on that, but I'm pretty sure that's when they are in August.
Garcia will look it up for us.
Yeah, she will. So anyway, that was the Lakehead show. But I know that there were some other shows also that happened this weekend. The Association Canine Charles Voisin in
Very good.
I don't think about it, just say it.
Exactly. Ron Burgundy.
Exactly. They had 3 days of shows. So on Friday, the best in show judge was Dr. Daniel Dowling from Maine, and he had 218 dogs. On Saturday was Harry Schulman from Kentucky.
Actually, Butch Schulman, that's how we know him.
Oh, okay. Anyway. And 262 dogs. That's a nice entry. And on Sunday was Karen Day from Saskatchewan with 247. So other judges that were on assignment were Dominique Ferrero from Quebec and Sandra Lex from Ontario. And their entries were definitely up from last year.
Yes, they were up.
Nicely.
Very good.
Yeah, almost 40 dogs on some days, which is excellent. And then out in the Maritimes, the Fredericton Kennel Club, 2 shows on 2 days. Best in show for the first show was Peter Scott from Ontario with 148, Lynn White from Manitoba with 151, and then on Saturday, Brenton Wright from BC, 144, and Richard McCoy from Ireland was 128. And the other judges on assignment there were Robin Hughes from New Brunswick, Susan Smith from Nova Scotia, Veronica Mercer from Ontario, and B. Saka, also from Ontario.
Yeah. And the entries were slightly up. They were up.
Yeah.
So that's an improvement.
Which is good. As long as you improve a little bit, that's what you're looking for. And then I believe finally it was Hub City Kennel and Obedience Club out in Saskatchewan. And Friday's best in show judge was Sandy Jelena from Ontario with 255 dogs. On Saturday,
225 dogs.
225, sorry. And then Margaret Jones from BC with 270. And then Sunday, Sandy's husband, Michael, with 272 dogs. And other judges on assignments were Jason Hoke from Wisconsin and Penny Lewis, friend of the show, from Saskatchewan. And those entries, they were up as well.
Yeah, they were up.
Overall, they were up as well. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was good. Very good.
But for sure.
And so that was Across Canada, presented to you by Show Scene Magazine, where every dog takes center stage.
Yep.
And then we have some upcoming shows, and these are brought to you by Canuck Dogs, your source for canine Canadian Canine Event Information Online. And the first one is the Erie Shores Club, which is on June 6th to the 9th. And as we know, it's 4 all breed shows, limited breed shows for 1, 3, 6, and 7. They have 6 obedience trials, 6 rally obedience trials. There are multiple specialty shows there. Nationals for Borzoi, Cairn Terriers, Irish Red and White, Leonbergers, Brussels Griffon, Norfolks. And that's the closing date for that is May 14th. And the show secretary is MJN Show Services, and they have judges from around the world.
They sure do. Yeah.
Quite a few U.S. Judges are coming in. Bonnie Threffall being one of them from North Carolina. We've got some judges from Sweden, Brett Hamilton, Martin Johansson, and from Norway, Leif Herman Wilberg. Costa Rica.
From my friend Bob Dawson from Bangkok. He's there.
From Bangkok. Yes. Yeah.
Originally from Australia, but he's been in Bangkok for a few years now. So
So anyway, lots of foreign judges. It's exciting to have them come and judge dogs in Canada. We really enjoy that. Next up also is Lakes District Kennel Club, also same weekend, but that's out in Burns Lake, BC. And there's 8 all breed shows, 4 obedience trials and 4 rally obedience trials. They have a bunch of BC judges, David Dennis, Diane Ivy, Susan Quinnell, and this guy, my brother, Raymond Urich. He's
Raymond Urich. And this guy.
And this guy. I know that guy.
I've never been to those shows because they've always fallen on Erie Shores, so I never had a chance to get out there.
And so Wayne Thompson, also from BC's there. David Gilmore and Raymond LaRiviere from Saskatchewan, and Pierrette Perry McLean, from Ontario. She's there. And that show secretary is Arctic Dreams Show Services, and they close on May 21st. So
and then back up north to Thunder Bay Training and Kennel Club.
Yes, we have 5 shows. And the judges there are Joe and Janet Lobb from Ontario, Wendy Shira also, Nancy Popovich from Nova Scotia, Canada, and Leanne Bateman from Alberta. And the show secretary for that show.
That's a fun panel.
Yep, it should be. It's the same weekend that Hopi graduates. Thus, I stay home and not go to Erie Shores. That closes on May 22nd, and the show secretary for that show is Sue Lemieux. And then finally, South Shore Kennel Club on June 7th to the 8th in Lunenburg, Nova Scotia. 4 all breed shows, 2 obedience trials, and 2 rally trials. We have Avery and Doug Godin from New Brunswick, Cheryl Patterson, and Joanne Pavey from Ontario. That sounds like a fun panel, too.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
And they have a Group 7 specialty there. And the show secretary is Colin Vinoy. Sorry, Colin. And the closing date for that is May 27th of 2055, obviously. And those shows were brought to you by Canuck Dogs, your source for Canadian canine event information online. And then just one quick reminder for closing, the Avalon Kennel Club out in St. John's, Newfoundland, the 24th and 25th of May. That closes next Wednesday, May 14th. And the show secretary for that is Yvonne Drover. That's it.
All right.
That's all I got for that.
That was good. That was a mouthful still. There's a lot of.
We're ramping up, right? We're ramping up. So
we are.
So we're gonna our lead times are gonna be shorter, folks. So just not to bore the heck out of you. But all this information can be found on Canuck Dogs. Remember that. Yeah. And if you just join in to hear me mispronounce last names, then thank you.
And this week's topic brought to you by Canadian Dog Fanciers, a weekly summary of purebred dog events across North America. Our question of the week last week was, as CKC sanctioned matches have become less common and people are looking for more training opportunities, UKC and ABI events have seen a rise in popularity. What do you enjoy most about being a part of these events? And we had that on our Facebook page, and we had some great responses.
Super responses.
Yeah. Do you want to start?
No. These
Okay.
pretzels are
Kendall
making me
Wharton,
thirsty.
he wrote, the welcoming attitude towards mixed breed dogs and the focus on performance. I started in sports with mixed breed dogs, and even since getting my first purebred, it has continued to be the most welcoming venue in all aspects. There's also a wider variety of performance opportunities in my area through UKC versus CKC, and again, they tend to be more welcoming towards mixed breeds and non-CKC recognized breeds, and allow unaltered dogs of both types to compete in performance sports. I also just really align with the total dog approach that the UKC has that I personally don't find as prevalent in CKC. I also find that age skews a little younger in the UKC space, which is a bonus for me as I'm under 30. Does that mean she's saying we're old in the CKC?
She would have
But I
talked to us
understand.
30 years ago. Yeah, she probably wasn't
I
born.
do understand the draw to those shows.
Definitely.
They're very welcoming.
Yeah. So, yeah, I understand that. And also, the younger space.
Right.
I can appreciate that for sure.
For sure.
Carolyn Thibodeau, same day entries. Gotta like that.
Well, yeah. And that has a bonus too, because if let's say you didn't enter and you also have a free weekend and you see there's a dog show happening in Bright, Ontario, and it closes that day, you can enter that day. Yeah. Why not? Right?
Exactly.
Go enjoy the day, right?
Yep. And then Monica Peterson, she says, I can only speak for UKC because I haven't been to an ABI show yet. Judges are directed to remain focused on the dog's merits regardless of the skill of presentation from their handler. They have a no handler for hire policy. This takes a lot of pressure off for newbies and owner handlers, and it definitely lightens the atmosphere. Generally, we are seeing more events gain popularity where titles are attainable by their owners. It's nice to see more breeds being able to compete. Same day entries are also nice. However, it can also cause some morning chaos. Small price to pay in the long run. A lot of hard competing CKC breeder owner handlers compete at these shows, and they just let their hair down and enjoy the sport, which is, I get that.
It's true. Like, I've judged a few events, and you see a lot of CKC or AKC breeders showing at these events, and they're relaxed and they're having fun, and because the grooming is not as, I don't want to say intense, but there's no grooming in the ring, for one thing. You're not allowed to take a brush in the ring in UKC events. And outside the ring, their dogs all look good, but there's not hours put into the waiting for to go in the ring at 11 o'clock. They're not on the table at 9 o'clock. They relax, they go in, and away they go. Nola, we did Semison.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. That sounds good. Nola Semison. I hope we got that right, Nola. I'm so sorry. We don't really have UKC or ABI shows around here, but I once took my girls to an IABCA show, and it was a blast. That's International All Breed.
I would think. Yeah.
And it was a limited entry, so it wasn't as busy. So girl was going through teenage periods of uncertainty, so it was nice to get her out in a less stressful environment. Breeds and groups were smaller, so the ring times were quicker, with less time to stand around and make bad decisions for my dog. Bonus was more time to chat with the judges about my breed and a couple of written judges' reports. So, yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And at those smaller shows, they are able to give you critiques, which is great. And because they talked about that doing at CKC shows, but could you imagine how long we'd be there all day long waiting for critiques? I just don't see it being a possibility. Maybe at specialties, but not at the all breed shows.
Yeah. Well, you even notice, like, when at a CKC show, how if a judge, we have a couple of chatty judges out there, and if they are chit-chatting away, how fast their ring time starts slowing down, right? So for CKC shows, I don't know if that would be that would be attainable, but I understand the reasoning behind it, and I do
Well,
think
and it's a lure.
valuable.
It's a lure for people to know about their dog, how that judge felt about their dog.
Exactly.
And that's why I said maybe national specialties, they could do that.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
for an all breed, it'd be hard to make the time up, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Sue Cox.
Every year, Labor Day weekend, Windsor All Breed, TNT, and Essex County Kennel Club have sanction matches.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Labor Day weekend, there's sanction matches there. Well, that's in conjunction with their dog shows, I guess. Yeah.
Yes, probably.
Yeah, and we do have some sanction matches that follow dog shows, but they're not advertised well enough. They're not in Canuck dogs, so people can plan for them.
That's a funny thing how sanction matches, like those kind of things, aren't.
Oh, I mean, when I was a kid, you go to those yellow pages in Dogs in Canada, and you'd see sanction match for
because it was
Kennel Club.
CKC sanctioned event, right?
Yeah.
And then a lot of clubs got away from the sanctioned matches and just had the fun matches, because sanctioned matches, you had to have your paperwork in 3 months beforehand, blah, blah, blah. It was more work, right? But that's understandable. So let's see. Carol Cockle Sandridge, Rhodesian Ridbacks, she said low stress and judges are very helpful also. And that's important, especially to like new people, that a judge is kind and friendly, you know.
Well, I think we have kind and friendly judges in CKC.
Well,
but
I do believe that.
Let me finish, please. Mm-hmm. They're on more of a time constraint than these judges, so they can't always take the time to discuss your dogs. So it becomes a time constraint issue at the CKC events, because most of them are a lot bigger than these events.
Right. All right. So then Robin Wilcox McPherson, she says, I'm assuming that's a she. Fun memories of Ballantrae, Ontario sanction matches with my first registered dog. I have never shown CKC if it hadn't been for those low stress fun days of sanction matches.
How true is that? I remember when I sanction matches with my parents, and my first time I met Brian Casey was at a sanction match. Because they were showing their Doberman puppies, and we had a Doberman, so I got to meet Brian. Mm-hmm. But it's true. And it became like you still wanted to win, but you became more of a learning experience. You know, you'd go to each ring and watch certain things, and then you'd follow judges, and it was low stress. Did you save this one for me?
I sure did.
Liette Corshane Fadden.
Very good.
That's right, Lorette.
Very good.
Ability to sign up, enter the day of the event. So that's what Carolyn said as well. And that is a big lure to people, because it's a draw. Because, like I said before, if they have that Sunday open where something fell through, let's go to a dog show. Let's take our dog and enter the dog show and have fun with our dog. So.
And the other thing is, sometimes with, breeds that blow coat, if you don't have to decide, like, do I want to enter my dog if it has no hair? Well, sometimes 2 weeks out, you don't, hopefully it'll hold.
Well, exactly.
Sometimes it doesn't, right? So if it does hold, then off to the show you go.
And how many times have you entered your dog and she comes in season the week before the dog show?
Yeah, and you want to. Yes, exactly.
Bang your head against the wall. Yes. You can take them, but it's so hard on the rest of the dogs. And let's face it, most bitches don't show well when they're in the season because they're not happy.
It's the occasional one that is fine with it, but most of them don't. And yes, and then you have to worry about all the other dogs and who you're disturbing, and you have to, it's not that fun.
Yeah.
So.
That brings us to our topic for this week, a little introduction into UKC and ABI shows. And we have an interview with Sean Kent, who I've known forever. Mm-hmm. He owns the Oxford Dog Sports, and he also is the director for, I think it's for ABI, and he has a UKC club as well. So, So first, here's a little summary and rundown of the UKC and ABI shows that we were able to put together for you. We all know that we didn't do that our friend Megan did.
Not at all.
You can start with UKC if you like, Yvonne.
All right. Okay, so United Kennel Club shows. So UKC conformation shows are designed to be family-friendly, breeder and owner handler focused events that emphasize the total dog philosophy, rewarding dogs not only for how well they meet their breed standard, but also for their temperament and functional ability. And I think that's very important myself.
It is. It's nice
Yeah.
to see how your dog can do everything.
Yeah. So key features of UKC shows are professional handlers are prohibited in conformation. Only owners, breeders, and designated non-pro handlers may show a dog.
And just to butt in for a second, there have been some owner handler, professional handlers that show up at these shows with their own dog because they get to show their own dog. So they go ahead and show their own dog at the UKC events.
Nice. So. And dogs must be UKC registered. Judging is based on UKC breed standards, focusing on physical structure, gait, and breed typical traits. Titles, champion, grand champion, are earned by accumulating points and wins over competition. And they promote, as we said before, the Total Dog Award, recognizing dogs that succeed in both conformation and performance events at the same show. Yeah. Atmosphere is inclusive, less formal, and geared toward the average dog owner. UKC shows stand out for making the show ring accessible to everyday dog owners and encouraging a strong breeder owner handler community.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, I've judged a couple events in the States and at the premiere one, and they are very competitive, very competitive. Strong breed. I think I had a class of English Cocker specials. There was probably about 15 specials.
Wow.
It was something. I did the one in Michigan, and I want to say there was 1,200 dogs at that dog show,
Wow, that's good.
And that was a UKC event, and it was a lot of fun, and it gave me a lot of experience but this is before I became a CKC judge, and it gave me experience putting my hands on dogs and judging dogs, and it was invaluable as far as I'm concerned. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then we have the Albury International Dog Shows, ABIDS, Albury International Dog Shows. Conformation shows are structured to evaluate a wide variety of breeds, often following international FCI style standards. These shows emphasize breed standards, structure, movement, and presentation, and often include a written critique from judges using a grading system. Example, excellent, very good. Key features, open to all recognized and some rare breeds. Professional handlers are allowed. Dogs are judged individually rather than comparatively in many cases. Titles are earned through accumulated ratings and class wins, not just points. Shows often have an international panel of judges and a formal presentation style. ABIDS shows aim to offer global style competition and detailed feedback, making them popular among breeders seeking international titles and evaluations. So yeah, they're both fun shows to attend and to work and to judge and just to watch. I've shown up at Sean's just to watch certain days because he'll call me and tell me the entry is going to be this. Now I want to go see that, and if I go, are breeds I haven't seen before, and I want to go see them. So
nice.
Yeah,
that's interesting. All right. So do we want to go through these?
I think we quickly go through the differences between UKC, CKC, and ABI.
And I think we'll put these up. We'll have Megan post this on our Facebook page, so
that's a good idea. That's a very good idea
to see them. Because I'm a visual person myself, so
yeah. So I think we can probably just let Megan put this up so people can see it.
Yeah.
But we can do a summary. UKC emphasizes amateur handlers and total dog performance, which is great. CKC maintains traditional breed standard focused professional friendly shows. ABI allows broader participation with written evaluations and open breed acceptance, aligning with the international FCI style or multi-system formats. So.
The one thing I just want to note too is that UKC shows that you have to be registered as a UKC.
Yes,
you have to register with them with the UKC, just like CKC. But I don't think the ABIDS. I don't know if you have to.
No, there's no registering body with the ABI.
do you have to be registered with somebody?
I believe so, but I know ABI is not a registering body. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
But we'll find out more because Sean is up now and he's
That's right.
gonna tell us more about that.
Yes.
So here you go. Welcome, Sean Kent. Hi, everybody. Will here, and as promised, I have my buddy Sean Kent here. I've known Sean since we were youngsters. We're both oldsters now. But Sean is the owner of Oxford Dog Sports, which is also a UKC club, right, Sean?
Yeah, that's correct.
And you are the executive director of ABI, All Breed International Dog Shows. And you are are you the head trainer? Did you say you were for Oxford, the head trainer?
So for Oxford Dog Sports, I'm the training director. So that's kind of like the head trainer. Okay. There's 12 trainers in total.
Okay. So last week we put out the question about what people thought, what they liked about ABI and UKC events, and it was very positive. It was very positive. They said how much they loved the atmosphere. They loved the same day entries. There was no negative comments. Can you just tell me, pretend I don't know anything about them, tell me what they're about? ABI and UKC. I know I've judged at UKC. I think I've judged at your ABI shows as well, so I have an idea.
Yeah.
But I want you to explain to the people listening and watching.
So we'll start with UKC. UKC is an alternative registry, and they have been registering dogs. They've been around since 1898. They're in 25 different countries outside of North America. So they're all over the place and have been for a long time. Most times dogs, they often have dogs that are registered with them that have not yet been registered with CKC or AKC, so they're FCI registered. So a lot of rarer breeds are breeds that you wouldn't see every day. So that's kind of a neat thing about UKC. It's similar in that there's groups and, all of that is the same, but everything UKC is just a little bit different as far as their pointing system and so on. It's a more casual environment. They're smaller shows. And, a great place for, owner breeder handlers.
Yeah, and I think, like we talked about on the question, because when you and I were kids, there were sanction matches that we could go and take our new dogs to, or new people who were getting in the sport, they would go. We don't have those anymore. And I think it's great the ABI and UKC is available because it's a relaxed atmosphere. These new people don't feel so intimidated, and they can come and bring their young dogs and practice and learn, and if they want to go on and do the different registries, AKC, CKC, that's great. But this is a great place to learn. So,
well, ABI is not a registering body, but we do have to have registration from another registering body. ABI is a really great place for brand new people or people who are bringing around new dogs, young dogs that want to get some mileage in the ring. We literally take people by the hand and show them what a dog show is about. So any of my staff or volunteers are told, if you see someone lost or you see someone who looks new, you take them by the hand, you take them to the show secretary, you explain how you get your number, you explain everything. You basically hold their hand and teach them what a dog show is about. And that's more what you and I have talked about that dog shows used to be, that they used to be a little bit more nurturing, a little bit more friendly. And that's what's really important at ABI. We really want that environment. So we have tons of people that they just don't really know what a dog show is about. They've maybe gone to a handling class, don't know what a premium list is, don't know what all the numbers mean as far as how many dogs, and they just don't know. So it's a great
why would they, right?
Yeah, why would they? So it's a great place for them to learn about it and just to get started. And kind of like dog shows, I remember them being, many moons ago. Many moons ago.
I remember going to our first show, I think it was Progressive Kennel Club in Thornhill, and there was a CKC booth there, had a chart with a breakdown of how things worked, and you could ask whatever question you wanted to whoever was manning that booth, and it made life easier because that was our first show. I remember my dad going and talking to, I want to say it was Frank Jones back then, talking to Frank Jones and learning about what he had to do, where he had to be, where to get his number, where to do this, where to do that. Like he didn't know any of this. So
yeah. Yeah, so that's what ABI shows are about. We purchased Oxford Dog Sports and ABI in 2019. They were not already established, but we took them over in 2019, also known as the worst possible year to ever take over businesses. But we're here and thriving. The plan for ABI was I wanted to build sports because I love performance sports, and I wanted to build sports that would be sanctioned by ABI. And I'm very happy to say we've started 2 sports that have been done very, very well, and now are being done in 3 different locations.
What sports are these?
So that one is called Urban Rat Race. So yes, they are rats, and it's kind of like barn hunt, but inside. So it's kind of like what you would imagine an alleyway in a New York City. There's garbage and there's stuff and there's junk, but there's also rats and tubes, and the dogs need to seek those out, find them, and tell the owner that you found them. So that's Urban Rat Race, and it's been crazy popular. And we also have another one called Country Rat Race. And Country Rat Race is essentially tracking. They are tracking the scent of rats out in the wilderness, out in a forest, and they're tracking the scent to locate the rats. So those are the 2 sports that have been started this year. We're also will be launching a tricks program for ABI, and next year have 3 sports in the making. So sports. Excellent. Yeah, so it's very exciting, and that's I love dog shows, but I really like the sports and want to be able to provide some great alternatives and some new sports that nobody else is doing. We also have an ABI scent dog program, so it's a scent program similar to nose work or other. It's not similar to what other people are doing, but it is nose stuff. So that's very exciting. So those are the 3 sports that are happening and 3 more in development.
It's interesting because I co-own a border terrier with a very good friend of mine, and I showed him as a youngster, and he did really well. And then he started going to your place, Oxford Dog Sports, and doing different sports. Well, he comes to dog shows, and he's like, no, I want to go back and do that stuff. He gets so bored. And I tell Sheena all the time, I think he wants to go back and be with the rats.
Yeah. And he's actually good. He's really quite good at the sports, and he has a lot of fun doing them.
Oh, you can tell he has fun because he still does fine at the dog show. I haven't shown him in a long time, but I've seen him being shown. He still shows well, but when I showed him, it's not the same now. There's something else he'd rather be doing.
Well, it's cool for a dog like that because that's what he's bred to do. He's bred to for rats and so on. But it's surprising that even dogs that's not in their DNA, like terriers, all kinds of breeds are doing these rat sports. It's actually surprising how many dogs are honorary terriers, as I call them.
I have another question for you because I think this is important as well, and I'm gonna approach it when I speak to somebody next week about it. The judges you get for your shows. I know you've been held back a little bit on the CKC judges. Yeah. And the way I look at it, Sean, is I think that aspiring CKC judges that are even on permit, they need ABI shows and UKC shows just to learn their procedures, comfort in the ring, going over dogs properly. They need those events, and it happened. The same thing happened in America with UKC shows. The AKC stopped the AKC judges from judging at UKC shows. But I'm telling you, they need that time. It doesn't just happen naturally. Yeah. You think you're gonna like. I liken it to hockey as usual, right? Where I think that. If it wasn't for the American Hockey League or the OHL, these young players would not be ready for the NHL if they didn't go there and learn their craft. So it's the same thing. It's a
really good point because it's absolutely true that CKC does not make it easy for us to use judges. So they actually tell them that 3 months before or 3 months after they cannot judge another event. So therefore, think about that. that's 6 months that I don't have of that judge that I could use. So I am very, very lucky if I get a CKC judge once a year, for that specific judge.
Right.
We have CKC judges, we have UKC judges. We also have judges on permit or that are looking towards their license. And so on. And we do occasionally have someone who has, been around since the earth cooled, judging, and we have them in to judge. But it does really limit us. And the CKC is pretty serious about it. Like
I think they need to utilize.
They'll send them a letter. They'll be, threaten them. They'll say you can't do that. And it's unfortunate because we have had a number of judges that ABI over the years has used a lot, and they are now CKC judges, of which I could probably list 4 or 5, and now we can't get them. As much as they would like to come, we can't get them because of these, these restrictions that are being placed on them. So it makes it really hard for ABI specifically to find judges, and that's a shame because everyone who has come to judge has said, this is exactly what I need. This is exactly what I need, to build my confidence and see all these cool breeds that I've never seen before. And they really enjoy it and want to come back. So that's hard.
Each time in the ring as a judge, you get more confidence, you get strong. You need that time. And I don't know where else they're going to get that time.
And you actually judged for us before you were a CKC judge. And a lot of people have. UKC judges are a little bit different. They have to be a UKC judge for us to be able to use them. The challenge there is there's not a ton of Canadian judges, and the UKC shows are smaller, so it's hard to be cost effective in getting judges to. So that's harder because both the UKC shows and ABI shows are very little. Like they're 60 or 70 dogs. There's not a ton of dogs. UKC a little bit more than that, but comparatively speaking to lots of CKC shows, they're small shows. So therefore, they're you're still paying money to get judges here and so on, and they're expensive, all that kind of stuff. So it does make it challenging for us for sure.
Yeah, well, I hope there's some way they can
shift,
become friends.
Yes, we would love
and
that.
utilize each other.
Yeah, we would love that. Yeah.
So, how many events do you have a year?
So we have 12 dog shows a year. 3 of those are UKC. The rest are ABI. We have, let's see, I did write that down. We have about 12 nosework trials a year. Nosework is kind of our crown jewel. 12 nosework trials a year, 3 rally, 2 obedience. A lot of those things are put together. We have a big show in September. That's a 3-day show that offers confirmation, rally, obedience, and nose work all at the same show. So that's called our extravaganza. So there's 3 UKC shows. The rest are ABI shows, 12. And now the country rat race, we have about 3 a year. And urban rat race, we probably have about 14 a year. So this is a lot of events. This is a lot of events that we have going on here. Makes me
at Oxford Dog Sports, where you are right now, you do classes. You do classes to get people ready for such events, really, right?
Yes. So we have there's 12 trainers, and we're training in 10 different sports, including confirmation, and right from getting started to being ring ready to compete. So about 10 or 11 different sports right now. And there's, classes Monday to Friday, sometimes Saturdays, but often there's events going on the weekends. So there's always something going on at Oxford.
Something going on.
Always something going on.
I was there. I did a lot of classes there for you before I got sidelined. I'm hoping to get back though. So I hope to get back.
Yeah, me too.
And get back and be there because I always had a good time there. So
yeah, it's definitely grown. We have kind of downsized. We used to train in about 14 different sports. And so we've downsized that just a little bit. But there's probably each session, a session being, 6 to 8 weeks, about 35 classes going on a session. So
Excellent.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Now, if they go to your website, will they be able to see all these events? And
yes, they will be. If they go to oxforddogsports.com or abidogshows.org, they will be able to find that. We're very active on the Oxford Dog Sports Facebook page and the ABI Facebook page.
Okay,
and that's
good.
often where people go to ask questions and so on. And then we have a few staff that monitor that, and that's often a way where people get answers to some more specific questions. But certainly classes and events are on the website, but don't be afraid to ask on Facebook also.
Okay, excellent. Wow, that's great. I've been trying to get you on here for a while, so I'm glad we finally got it.
Me too.
So,
yeah.
I'd like to, if you don't mind, like to have you on even once a month or once every 6 weeks, just to give us an update of what's going on.
Yeah.
And we talked earlier about you sending the schedule, and I'm going to add that to our across Canada, so that we can start announcing some of your events. So
yeah, that would be great. I'd be happy to come on. I will get you this link. We do have a UKC show coming up May, I think it's 24, 25 or 25, 26, whatever the Saturday and Sunday is. That will be Confirmation, Rally, and Obedience.
Wow. Okay.
That's our next UKC event. The next ABI event is 22. It's actually a 3-day show, a Friday evening show, and then a Saturday, Sunday show. So it's that weekend. And past that, I don't remember dog show wise, but I will send you that. I mean, I was going through like 90 different events that happen a year. It just makes me weak.
That's a busy time, Sean.
It is.
Good. All right. Well, I appreciate it, brother. It's good to see you.
No problem. Yeah. So we'll talk soon, and I'd love to come back on.
Well, thank you, Sean. I knew that was going to be a good, informative.
Lots of information.
Yes, and he's going to come on every once in a while to update us on these shows. And because a lot of times these shows don't get put on to Canuck Dogs, we're going to start doing them here in our upcoming shows. So that was brought to you by Canadian Dog Fanciers, your weekly summary of purebred dog events across North America.
Excellent. So,
back to you, Yvonne.
Which now brings us to the question of the week, which is brought to you by ProPlan, always advancing. And the question of the week is, what could the parent clubs, AKC or CKC, do to increase registration? And I believe we're talking...
That's a good question.
Yeah, and I believe we're talking puppy registration, correct?
Yeah, dog registration, puppy registration. I think there's an issue there with registrations not being as strong as they'd like. So what can they do to help you, help them, help you? Let me help you. I forget how they went.
Me to help you. Help me.
Oh, you had me with hello.
Exactly. You had me at hello. Show me the money. Sorry.
The question of the week is powered by
ProPlan, always advancing.
Yes.
So
we do have some news from CKC.
Oh, yes, the news from CKC. So if you haven't heard or seen, Jeff Cornett, the executive director of the Canadian Kennel Club, has announced his retirement, and that was effective in April of 2025, and after 4 years of dedicated service.
4 years? That doesn't seem as possible.
No, it felt like we were just welcoming him.
Yeah.
Like 3 months ago. Anyway, since assuming the role in 2021, Cornett has been instrumental in advancing CKC's mission to serve its members and the public in all canine endeavors while ensuring the preservation of purebred dogs and the well-being of all dogs. During his tenure, Cornett focused on enhancing member engagement, improving operational efficiency, and strengthening the CKC's role in Canada's canine community. His leadership has been marked by a commitment to integrity, accountability, and effective communication. We would like to wish him well on his retirement.
Yes, I hope you have a great retirement, Jeff. And I enjoyed meeting you and spending some time with you. And I really hope you enjoy your retirement.
Yes, all the best. And then another little piece of CKC's news, William.
Oh, okay, my turn. The Discipline Committee has reviewed and held a hearing regarding handlers that were involved in a professional misconduct, and have handed down sentencing. We're going to find out where the information can be found so you can research it on your own. I don't want to be the bearer of that kind of news on our show. No. But we will give you information so you can find out where, and Megan will find that for us, and that will be posted on our Facebook page.
Yes.
Next week, we have John Atkinson coming, head of communication for CKC, and he's going to talk to us about the current state of the CKC and update us a bit and let us find out what's happening at our parent club. So.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
So, where are you off to this week? Anywhere?
No. Nowhere. Come on. I went to a dog show last weekend. You got to give me.
That's enough. That's enough.
Settle down. One show a month. Isn't that my rule?
I'm not going anywhere either because I can't leave because the Maple Leafs are still in the playoffs.
Oh, that's right.
So I can't go anywhere.
No.
The boys need me to be here for support.
Yeah. And we have to congratulate the Jets too for pulling it out.
Oh, I know. That was probably the most exciting Game 7 I have ever watched. It was unbelievable. It's almost like it was. You still couldn't fathom that it happened. Because with 2 minutes left in the game, and then Perfetti scoring with 1.26 seconds left in the game to tie it up. That's what legends are made of.
It was. I listened to the because there was brothers on the teams, right? There was the Shen?
Yeah, the Shen brothers. Luke
the Shen brothers.
Yeah.
And because I'm a nerd and I listen to CBC Radio, I listened to their dad. He had an interview with CBC Radio yesterday, and they were talking about all of that. So it was, but that was an exciting game. And
it was incredible. It was incredible. And that kid Perfetti, he is money. I'll tell you, he showed up when he got 2 of the goals to bring them, to tie them. And then the overtime, when it went to second overtime period, it was edge of your seat stuff. And I follow all Canadian hockey teams. So I'm glad that we have 3 out of the 8 left are Canadian teams. So it's very exciting.
Yeah. I had to laugh because I did see a meme about Perchetti. It was like, he just wouldn't go home. And that's when he was not going home and shot the goal to win to tie the game up anyhow.
Yeah, 1.6 seconds or some crazy thing like that.
Yeah, it was very exciting. 1.26 seconds left. Something like that.
I was texting back and forth with a friend of the show, Sean Bennett, who was at the game, and he was losing. He was losing. He couldn't believe it was happening. Did this really happen? Oh my God. And he was witnessing it. So I couldn't imagine what it was like to be there and witness that, because I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
Well, you know what? The other thing I'm always impressed about the Winnipeg arena is when they do the Winnipeg whiteout.
Oh yeah.
It is whiteout. That is so great.
It was exciting.
Cool. Looks so cool.
I wish them luck with Dallas. I think they start Wednesday. So this comes out Thursday. So they played yesterday, but we don't know what they did.
We don't know what happened.
I know the Leafs won last night, Game 1 against Florida. So that's
Yes. So
all right.
Make sure you click like and subscribe to the podcast. Check out our Facebook page, and join our Facebook page. Join in the conversation. And it's the Facebook page is The Dog Show Drive Canadian edition, and the TikTok account, The Dog Show Drive _ Canadian CDN.
Now watch for our merch store coming out. Oh, sorry, because I know I'm like, I'm with stupid.
I'm with stupid too. Yeah.
But we have a merch store opening up soon. It'll have toques and mugs and sweatshirts and aprons and hoodies and all kinds of great Canadian merchandise for the Dog Show Drive.
Yes. So, yep.
All right. Take us away.
Everyone driving to a show this weekend, stay safe, seatbelts on, glasses on. Till next week, guys.
Clark, stop scratching.
Because you never know who might come out. Okay, I can't find that thing you want me to find.
You press that and more comes up.
They're not even a real
Yeah, there's no crying in dog shows.
You're not getting anything good here, dog.